Right, let's get an update from the French Riviera. We're joined by our film critic, Lisa Nesselson. Lisa, they left an empty seat at the press conference for the Russian film Leto, or Summer, but the director is under house arrest in Moscow. He was arrested during the making of the film. So, Lisa, tell us more then.
Well, the fact that the director was not able to come adds an extra resonance, an extra layer to a film that is very, very interesting in and of itself. In fact, the producer came and the cast, and they explained that they were making this movie in St. Petersburg about the Leningrad rock and roll scene in the early 80s in the Soviet Union. And their director was there the night of August 22nd. They looked at dailies, what they'd shot that day, and the next morning he was gone because the authorities had hauled him back to Moscow, and he's been under house arrest ever since. He managed to edit the film from his apartment without having any contact with the rest of the cast and crew. And the result is an extremely touching story that, while I was watching it, I didn't realize is real people who are cult figures, actual legends for people in Russia today and certainly back then. So it's sort of a love triangle, and it is about one woman and two men, one of them an established early rocker, and the younger man he takes under his wing. I believe we have a clip of what the atmosphere was like when young people, like young people everywhere, could go out into the countryside and blow off some steam and play some music. Let's watch.
Лето, штаны истерты, как монета, во рту дымится сигарета, и купаться поддаем. Лето, недавно я услышал где-то, что скоро прилетит комета, и что тогда мы все умрем. Лето, лето, лето.
And here's some pointed commentary from the press conference for the film.
Look, I think above all, it's about the film. And I think Cannes is very specific about that it's the film first, and it's the quality of the film first, and the politics second. So I think for this film, the main criteria and the main sense of achievement for us as the filmmakers and for the director, obviously, is being in the lineup of one of the best film festivals in the world. And of course, it's critical, it's crucial. It's bittersweet, obviously, because any support, Kirill being free would be much better than all of this. But there's been huge support from the West. There's also huge support in Russia. It's important to note. A big cluster of liberally minded people are as outraged by the situation, and it's a national discussion in Russia at the moment.
Lisa, in the official sidebar called Un Certain Regard today is a genou les gars, which is being called Sex Tape in English. It's a French movie. Tell us more.
Well, there's been a lot of discussion about the female point of view and how it's allegedly missing from movies. This is an absolutely deeply entertaining, very educational, funny French film, which is told from women's point of views, but was directed by a man. And he did the dialogue in cooperation with his two wonderful lead actresses. There are two young couples in the French city of Strasbourg of North African descent, and there's two sisters. They each have a boyfriend, and the older sister is more sexually experienced and goes off on vacation for a week. And while she's gone, one of the guys convinces the younger sister to do something which is supposedly a public service for her older sister, who she tells everything. But all of a sudden, she can't really tell her everything anymore because somebody used that incredible device, the cell phone, to get video of this little transgression, shall we call it. It's phenomenally slangy and funny and contemporary. It's part of what I'm calling the year of the visible penis here in France, because there's an actor who plays a scene completely in his birthday suit, and I do mean in his birthday suit. And it's interesting in that lines are crossed and people behave badly, but nobody has any lasting scars. In fact, the women find a way to get back at the people who caused the transgression in the first place. And it's a very satisfying way of looking at sexual harassment.
Lisa, this is the 71st Cannes Film Festival. 50 years ago today, the 21st edition opened only to come grinding to a halt a week later. Why was that then?
Well, that was because suddenly the filmmakers who were here, or a certain percentage of them, decided it was kind of elitist and beside the point to go on having a film festival when the nation was on strike. So in solidarity with the workers, they decided to call an end to it. Of course, the filmmakers who had come from then Eastern Bloc countries and didn't think that, the worship of communism and socialism and Marxism was such a good idea because they knew where that led, they would have liked to show their movies, but they didn't get a chance to. As a result of that, the following year, 1969, saw the debut of the Directors' Fortnight, the Quinzaine des Réalisateurs, and it was an organization formed by French directors and producers to try and show work that wouldn't end up in the main festival because up until the 1972, they didn't really program this festival. They waited for each country to send a film that was representative of what they had to offer. And so the Directors' Fortnight was an explosion of then young talent. Many of the names you'd recognize because those people went on to win the top award here, the Palme d'Or, the Golden Palm. So they're celebrating their 50th anniversary here this year, and let's wish them another 50 years, shall we?